This is perfectly clean. Now what I do is I just take a little pair of scissors or a knife and I chop off the first, I don't know, quarter inch, half inch, and that way it opens up the pepper. This way when I put them in the jar, the liquid's going to go inside the pepper. If I toss them in like this, it's, you know, pretty much airtight and the liquid's not going to go in there. But as the pepper ages in the jar, it will soak up liquid into here. And the problem with that is this is all air in here. So when it starts soaking in that liquid, it's going to take the liquid out of the jar. So when you go in there like next season or, you know, like a few months later, you're going to notice you have a whole bunch of peppers and they're not soaking in the liquid. I like to make sure that my peppers have liquid covering them as much as possible. I don't know, I just feel a little safer that way. So like I said, this is my way of doing things. I'm not going to try and tell you how to do it your way. You may have a better way, and you probably do. This is just my fast, easy way to do peppers. Let me finish all these off and then we'll go on to the next step, okay? Next step. I have dill growing out in the garden. You can use fresh dill or you can use cilantro. You can use anything you want. Shove a bay leaf in there. Any kind of spice that suits your fancy. I throw in 3 little sprigs of that. And this is where it gets tricky. You want to make sure that you get as many in here as possible because once you put the liquid in and it starts shrinking down a little bit, you'll be surprised at how little it actually is. Take a look. Not bad, huh? I think I might be able to squeeze a couple more in there. Come on, I only got 3 more. Make it fit. Wow, that is beautiful. Okay, that was step 2. Now let's go on to the next. Okay, so we have a 1.5 cups of water in here. Let's pour in the exact same amount of vinegar. Yes, white vinegar is what I use. You can use wine vinegar, rice vinegar, any kind of vinegar you want. Basically half vinegar, half water. That's all there is to it. I'm going to throw a tablespoon of salt in there because I like the flavoring it gives the peppers. Now you don't have to use salt. I prefer to use salt. So you have half water, half vinegar, a pinch of salt. That's all it takes. Toss this on the stove and get it to a nice hot boil. I put a lid on it to make sure it gets hotter faster without losing any kind of liquid. Let's get this to a rolling boil and go on to the last step. Okay, that didn't take very long at all. Lordy, that is hot. Ow. Okay, that is really hot. We got it to a nice rolling boil. Time to turn off the fire and pour it in with the peppers. Put that right on top. Pour it nice and easy. The funnel is really cool. It makes sure that you don't get any kind of liquid around the outside. Keeps things a lot cleaner. I want to fill that all the way up. I like to take it up just higher than the bottom ring. They say don't do it any higher. I'm like, you do it your way, I'll do it my way, and everybody's happy. Final step. We toss the lid on, put this ring on, back it off just a little bit till it goes click. Ah, I love that click. And then we tighten it. Hold on to this jar and just tighten it nice and snug. Don't go, ugh! And make, you know, you're not supposed to seal it by turning this. The vacuum is going to seal it. So we go nice and snug. You know, that's all there is to it. And you might think, wow, Ray, why aren't you putting it into a hot water bath or a pressure canner? Aha, that is a little bit of difference that my method has than pretty much everybody else's. I used to process it in a hot water bath and pressure canner. No matter how long I did it as, you know, as much as 20 minutes and then as little as 5 minutes. It never seemed to work, but I tried it this way and it worked like a charm. And I saved my peppers for months, and then I'd open them up and they were absolutely delicious, perfectly safe, because you know what? The vinegar and the salt, well, you don't even need salt like I said, but the vinegar is acidic and no kind of bacteria is going to be living in that acidic environment. So you have the boiling hot water, you have the acidity of the vinegar. I wouldn't want to be a piece of bacteria in this jar. Plus the salt sure as heck doesn't hurt. Now we're going to let this set right on the counter. Don't push this top in. You know, it's always tempting to go, oh, if I push that in, it'll seal. No, actually, that doesn't seal it. The vacuum seals it, and it may take a while too. What happens is, as this liquid cools down, things shrink in there. It's going to be pulling down on the top of the lid. Then eventually they'll go, and you have a seal and you are all set to go. Then you just take it, put it in the basement in a nice cool place or in a dark closet because you don't want light shining in here. So find a dark place that's out of the way, that isn't too warm. My basement is perfect for this. I have a little pantry down there and that's where I set them. Done deal.